Here's something which I have a grudge with. When people say, some of the people from these spiritual groups or spiritually inclined people affirm that, oh, don't bother about what happens with another one, it's their karma, you know. Like, man, we as human beings live in so much ignorance that we just adopt ideas. We adopt ideas, and just because they sound more rightly, we import them and we use them as tools. And we shape our entire perception of reality and our life around them. And most of these spiritual beings, spiritually inclined beings, but by the way, I also have to add this in that this is far, far, far from being what spirituality is about. What we see in humanity right now, this is a joke. In terms of spirituality, I mean, this is a joke. This is far from being spirituality. This is just a joke. But most of these spiritually, like, people which consider themselves spiritually inclined, these people which especially are into Eastern philosophy or Eastern spirituality, you will find among them, many of them, that they have this mentality of oh, it doesn't matter what happens with another one, it's their karma. That's so obtuse, in my opinion, if obtuse is a word in English. That's so narrow-minded. That's so untrue, basically. Because there is a cognitive dissonance in them as well, in these people, because, like, how can you both say that, oh, reality is only one and we are all one and there is no separation, there is only unity and whatever, but then say, oh, it doesn't happen, what happens with another one is their karma? Well, like, how can you say both of these things? Isn't, if everything would be one and we would be all one and we would be, and there would be no separation, which many of these Eastern spiritual inclined beings affirm, that there is no separation, well, then isn't it obvious that the pain of another one is your pain also? And if you manage to, let's say, assist another one, even take its karma on yourself, some of it, isn't it obvious that you're actually aiding yourself? So how can you say there is no separation, but also say that, oh no, what happens with another one, it's karma? That's cognitive dissonance. So yeah, it's obvious, like, to me it's obvious. It's just obvious that there's no such a thing like individual karma, by the way. I mean, there is, but only from some perspective, from a limited perspective of our ignorant human perception. Because if you feel and you can sense and you can experience the grander, let's say, a much more grander perspective of reality, and you experience it, you don't think about it, you just start to experience much more of what reality is, it's obvious that everything that happens in humanity never happens to one human. And all the thoughts, all the impressions, all the sensations, all the imaginations, everything that we ever thought, believed, felt, it was coming from a pool of experiences which all the human beings are connected to. It's what Jung has described like the collective unconscious. There is this pool of experiences which contain the entire possibility for what a human being can experience. And we are all connected to that pool of experiences, and we are driving from that pool of experiences the experiences existing there, and we are experiencing them in our particular way. But all of us, we are experiencing the same thing. So if there's karma in one being, that's not its karma, it's the collective karma. We are all bearing the collective karma in our own way. So now there's no human being that ever did a mistake, or in a way that ever sinned or created karma. Human beings, poor human beings, man, they have no choice. I constantly say that human beings have no choice. I mean, when I say human beings right now, I refer to this standard form of humanity. The standard human being has no choice. It is run by programs all day long, and the collective unconscious, it is downloaded in its own consciousness, and it just runs the experiences existing there in the collective unconscious. But it runs them through its own particular software, through its own particular hardware, I could say, because it's similar to having a software in a laptop, right? You have the Windows software, right? It's the same software for all the laptops, but you have a particular hardware at your, let's say, at your end. I might have another particular hardware at my end. You might have 8 gigabytes of memory, I might have only 4 gigabytes of memory. You know, you might have some form of hardware, I might, hardware, I said it correctly. You might have, a large hardware, I might have a small hardware. Doesn't matter, the Windows is the same, the software is the same. In your case, because you might have a more performant, like a hardware with higher performance, the software might run better. In my case, I might have a lower performance hardware, the same software might run slower, but it's the same software. So the collective unconscious contains all the karma of humanity. No human being ever had a trauma. No human being ever did a mistake or created karma, or no, it's just God. You never did a mistake. You never sinned. You never did anything wrong. It's just your life is run by programs which you have zero control over, and these programs contain everything in them, including karma, including sin, including trauma, so your traumas, by the way, they happen because it's not your fault. It happens because out of program, out of script. You could be the most angelic human being and still you would have shit happening to you. It doesn't matter, because you can't escape the script that it is placed upon you. And the script contains all sorts of things in it, including pain, suffering, trauma, whatever. You could. And I challenge everybody who is meditating and doing any type of sorts of practice to say that they stopped feeling, entirely suffering or karma or pain or trauma. They suffer. They continue to suffer in a way or another. It's just that their pain in some cases gets alleviated. So it's nobody ever sins, nobody ever creates karma, because there is only one karma, and that karma is stored in the collective unconscious. And we all human beings, we are connected to this collective unconscious, and thus with this to this collective karma. So in my opinion, it's at best it's ignorant to say that when one of these spiritual beings, they are saying that, oh, it's their karma, it's just ignorant to say that at best. And at worst, it just feels moronic. From the perspective of the real situation that we are in, it just feels moronic to say that. Because if you're saying that, you're lying to yourself and to the other one if it hears you. If you're saying it's their karma, you're just lying. And it's worse that you believe the lie. You actually believe that lie, and this just shows that your life is run by these programs. You have zero consciousness about what truly happens to all of us here. They are just run by programs. Do you think that these programs do not include spirituality in them? Dude, like these programs, this collective unconscious is a beast, let's say, which has been evolving for who knows how much time. This collective unconscious has everything in it, including our ideas of spirituality and spiritual practices and all of it. Where do you think the information came from in the world? It's from the collective unconscious. And the collective unconscious is, again, the software that is being loaded in each of us. We are all connected to this software and subjected to its pre-programmed tendencies. If the collective unconscious has trauma in it, we are all gonna experience trauma, independent of anything that we do here as human beings. The thing that you start to understand after you truly start to begin to see this reality for what it is, it's to understand that there is zero escaping the collective trauma, and there is zero escaping the collective unconscious because we are loaded with it. And in like my approach and what life has brought me to understand is that it's better to deal with the karma, independent with this collective karma. It's just better to deal with it. For example, if you have a software, an Apple MacBook software or a Windows software, and the software has a bug in it, right? It just works deficiently by default. It just has a bug. Let's say Windows has from its construction had a bug with how it displayed the clock there, in time, and sometimes it would glitch or something, and it just had a bug in it. And now everybody running Windows had the same bug, experiencing the same bug with time, let's say, in the clock. Now if you are a programmer, a coder, you can try to fix the Windows, fix the software that runs on everybody's hardwares. Let's say you would have an ability to fix that software. Well, you'll do that if you have the ability. If you have the ability, you'll start fixing the bug. And if you manage to fix the bug and somehow update the Windows, it's gonna update for everybody. And this is what I feel, that some of us, we have the capacity to work with this collective trauma and collective karma. We have the ability to neutralize it in a certain way. But it requires the most amount of effort that I've encountered so far. A death and resurrection type of effort. So it's really serious. So this is what life brought me to see, that there is this collective karma, that because the collective unconscious is affected by this trauma and this karma, everybody's gonna be affected by it, independent of what they do. And the only thing that remains to do after one deeply experiences and sees this for what it is to try to see if there is a way to heal the trauma, to heal the karma, to neutralize the karma, but not in anybody specifically, but in this collective unconscious. Here is where we have to work. We have to work with the collective unconscious, of course. And we have been working, some of us, with the collective unconscious, knowingly or unknowingly. There's a trauma happening right now in the collective of humanity, in the collective unconscious. It's not in anybody specifically. And that trauma then extends through all of us. So as we heal that trauma that exists in the collective unconscious, as much as we heal all the people at once. Do you understand this? This is very... like the significance of this, it's almost it's unspeakable. Because of the immensity of it. So if you have been one of these individuals which have been saying that, oh, it's their karma, what happens with them, it's you know, it's in their hands, it's in your hand, or there are these other people which say, oh, it's in their hands to fix their life, oh, it's up to you to fix your life. Man, you have no idea, really, now. Like literally, you are just ignorant when you say that, because you don't see reality for what it is. That other human being probably has no chance at ever fixing its life. You're just, it's like you're handling sand to a man in a desert which asks for water. You are giving it sand. How can you tell? It's just like almost like a... It's almost like a violent thing to do. Like, you see somebody in a desert asking for water, they are almost helpless, they are almost like dying out of thirst. They have almost no power left to even walk anymore, and they just look at you and just, please, do you have a bit of water, you know? And you throw sand in their eyes, you know, and tell them like, man, it's your problem, you have to save yourself. Oh, it's all this self-help, you know, again, self-centered saving program. God, both of these things are such dichotomies, man. Both this external savior body, also the internal savior. Like, no, there is no savior coming, you have to save yourself. That's such a bullshit, by the way. Nobody is able to save itself in these conditions. Come on, dudes, like, don't you freaking see where we are? And stop lying to yourself and to the others. There's no such thing as personal salvation. God, we can't save ourselves. Isn't it obvious? But we can save each other. That's another thing. We can not save ourselves, but we can save another. We can save each other. Do you understand? We are in the freaking Hunger Games. And the test here is like to be able to give your life for something else. To put your life at stake for something else, to save someone else rather than yourself. Don't you see the dichotomy when with these things, like people just expected a savior to come to save who? Them. They wanted to be saved. They wanted to be saved. They wanted to get out of the matrix. It's only about them. And then the other side of the dichotomy is like, no, there's no savior coming, you have to save yourself. It's like, oh man, I have to save myself now. Yeah, that's true. I think I have to save myself. And then they go into the other wrong direction, thinking that they have to save themselves. It's like, both of these things, they are wrong. Both of them. There's zero savior coming to save you, but you can't also, you can neither save yourself. It's a dichotomy. And the way out of it is like, well, what does it remain? If I'm doomed, let's say, if I can never be saved, then, and I know, in a way, I know viscerally, I understand the condition that I'm in, it's just obvious. It's like the door of understanding opens up and you see the truth. It's like, if I cannot be saved, at least let me save another man. Let me do my best to save another one. Maybe I cannot save myself. Maybe nobody is coming to save me either. But then, if I am already hopeless, let me do my best to help another. Maybe, it's like one of those things, like we would be two of us, hanging from a cliff, and you would be, with your hand, on the cliff, on the edge of the cliff, and you would be, holding me, and I would be, hanging from you, and you would be hanging from the cliff. I know that maybe both of us cannot survive right this moment, but at least you can survive, and I might just decide to help you survive rather than both of us being killed. Isn't that much more normal? So I believe there is a precious secret in this act of starting to save each other rather than save ourselves. And this renders this entire mentality with there's no karma completely not only benign but evil. What I mean is like this renders this entire mentality with it's your karma, you have to deal with it. If not only benign, but actually evil from this perspective. Actually, the karma of another person should interest you more than your own karma. What you can do, if you can do anything at all, and I believe you can, I believe it is a secret in this. I believe you can actually save another being. I believe you can have all the tools. You have the tools to save another being, from its own suffering. Because there is this thing with, the black spot. The black spot in our vision. That even physically, there is a black spot here. Here, in the center of our vision, there is a blackness. There is a black spot. And our brain somehow creates, through interpolation and simulation, the rest of the image that we do not actually see. We don't see the entirety. I don't see the entirety of the room right now, but my brain creates and simulates what content would exist in that dark spot. If you didn't know about it, if you didn't know about this, you can go and research it and check it out. So it's similar, it's like I can never see the dark spot in my eyes. I can never see what I'm not seeing, basically. But another one might see that thing. Another one might see my struggles, it might see my karma, it might see my darkness, because I'm not able to see it. It's by design. We are made to not be able to see a part of ourselves. And another one can see it. And just, if you can see the darkness in another being, it's almost futile sometimes to just go and say like to that other being, hey, you have a darkness there, go and fix it, man. Just that being is never gonna be able to fix that darkness because it is designed to not be able to see it. And what you could do, I think, it's to heal its darkness from your side. I think we are able to heal the darkness of each other, and it is created to be like this. It is created that eventually we learn how to help each other out and save each other, as I said. This is why I think it is designed this way. It is designed for all of us to have a darkness that we can't just move over. Yeah, we can't move beyond it. We can try, but without somebody else coming, we will never be able to move beyond the darkness on our own. Somebody else has to come and help us realize it and help us see it, at least. If not, actually healing that darkness for us. So you and all of us, we might be natural healers, all of us. And we might not be able to heal ourselves, but we might be able to heal others. And isn't this ironic? Because I just crossed my mind that this is exactly the archetype of Chiron, right? Chiron was not able to heal himself, but he was able to heal others. Man, it's just incredible. It's just God, this is incredible. It was in our face. It was in our freaking face. The key, the answer was in our face. Jesus Christ. Oh my God, Jesus Christ, man. I just had a spontaneous right now while doing this recording, this realization, this revelation, just incredible. It was always in our face. It's like we have to save each other. This is the Chironic theme. This is the Christ theme. But that means that they portrayed, if this is true, and I know it is true now. I know this is true now. But why did they portray the myth of Christ in the way they did? And said that Christ came to save humanity? Well, maybe that's true. Maybe that's actually true. But you know what? The missing link was here is that maybe there is not only one Christ. Maybe all of us, we have to do this. All of us, we have to save the others. Maybe all of us are Christ. There's not only one Savior, there are many. And wasn't this part of the teachings of Christ, right? Didn't Christ said, because I'm not really, I haven't read the Bible, I have only some information about it, about the Christian tradition. But didn't Christ said something like becoming like him, or that all of us we are like him, or that what he can do we can do and even more? Like, wasn't part of the teachings of Christ telling humanity all the time, constantly I mean, that humanity is just like him? Wasn't that just It was there, see, but God, just, we didn't saw it. We didn't freaking saw it. Oh my God. Oh my God, and now it's like this year, 2024, with Chiron joining the eclipse. I'm, oh God, I'm convinced now that there was something about this year. Coming back to the realization of the true way to, let's say, escape the matrix. It's us together, saving each other. All of us have that darkness within which we cannot access, we cannot have access to, and it's our chironic pain, it's our wound that never heals, can never be healed. We can never heal it, we can never heal it, but somebody else can heal it. Somebody else can heal us, and we can heal somebody else. And just to express more of my anger here, because God, what this messed up, really denaturated version of pop spirituality has done to humanity. Indoctrinating humanity with these sick ideas that, oh no, it's their karma, you don't have to do anything for them, you have to do it only for yourself, man. Yeah, man, mind your own liberation, mind your own enlightenment, you know. Were these beings ever enlightened? No, they didn't got enlightened. Even if we look at, even if we hear what the Eastern spiritual masters, the tales of the Eastern spiritual masters were, it's like, oh, those folks got enlightened, got into nirvana, heaven, and then they decided to come back on earth because, and help humanity. Duh. You know, it's like, we heard so many tales of the ascended masters that they got to nirvana, to the Buddha, you know, lotus, whatever, and then they realize like, oh, I can't actually, I'm still in the matrix. Yeah, I'm at the heavenly version of the matrix, but I'm still in the matrix. Shush. What do I do now? Oh, what? Well, it's obvious from this level that I have to go and help those folks out because, hey, I can't escape on my own. Duh. No, I have to go and help the folks out. And then they incarnate again and try to help humanity, you know. And this is how we have ascended masters walking on earth. God, it just exactly as I said, it was obvious. The answer was obvious, but we didn't saw it. It's exactly what I've been saying, but it's just, I've been saying that either all of us are free or none of us is. Or are. I don't know what's the grammatically correct thing. The grammatically correct way to say this. But all of us are free, or none of us are. Or is. And it was obvious to me, but like just now it just clicked like it never did before. Now I feel like I've gained the holistic understanding. Before I only had a hunch. It's like, oh no, it's like, no, I have to, like, it wasn't a hunch actually. I could feel this is the truth. I could feel that, no, it's like all of us are free and none of us are. It's just obvious. It was obvious even before, but now it's just like some pieces in my mind really like jigsaw puzzles came together. Now I have the understanding, the holistic understanding. Now it's obvious. God, incredible. So this was the missing piece. This was the missing piece of our reality here. this is what we were not seeing collectively. This was our collective dark spot. We thought we either have to wait for a savior to come, or that we have to save ourselves. But it was neither of these things. We have to save each other. We have to help each other. We have to save the others. And it's incredible, man. It's like incredible when I realize that if I remember that this was even stated in Chiron Last's Material Man. Like it was said that we have to help others. But I actually wonder if Chiron even knew the true answer, or did he only had a hunch like I did? Like I had this knowing, this internal feeling that either all of us are free or none of us is. Maybe, wow, I don't know if Chiron Last had a hunch with this stuff as well, and he just knew that we have to help each other. We have to help others. Have to be last, because he talked about this. Always be last, always help others. Maybe either he had the same hunch, the same feeling, either he actually knew. He realized it. He saw the truth. But here it is. God, here it is from my side. It's clear now. It's clear what we have to do. I don't know how we are going to do it, but it's clear what we have to do. There's no escaping hell on our own, and there's no escaping the matrix on our own. Either all of us are free, or none of us are. And we have to save each other. There's no savior coming, and we are the saviors of each other. What you are right now, you have the ability, with your skills, with the exact composition of your being, you have something, you are a key to another. You can unlock the door to another. You cannot unlock your own door. You cannot stop your own suffering. But you can unlock the door of another. You can save another. You can choose to save another. Oh God. We are in the freaking Hunger Games. And I don't remember the ending of the movie, but I can tell you, I know now. We can never escape these Hunger Games if we just continue to fight to win our own survival and to satiate our own hunger. We have to satiate another. We have to give food to another. That's the quest. This is a trial. You have to save another one. This life, this experience is the freaking Hunger Games. And we were not created to feed ourselves. We were created to feed another, to feed each other. And even if we try to feed ourselves, we won't be able to do it. It's created this way. It's created that if we try to ensure our own survival, to satiate our own hunger, we are never gonna be able to do it. And as we try more and more to ensure our own survival on the expense of the others, let's say, as we become more and more scared and paranoid, but as we start helping another one, as we start giving our life to the others, helping them live, as we become more and more unafraid of death, untouched in a way by evil, as we become again pure. So as we try to feed ourselves, to give to ourselves, as we become more hungry, more weak, more desperate, more paranoid, this constant, indescribable lack that can never be fulfilled, this hungry monster within grows and grows and grows. As much as we try to feed ourselves and to ensure our own survival, as much as this hungry monster within us starts growing and growing and growing, and the lack never gets satiated, we become even more afraid, even more paranoid. But as we start feeding another, giving to another, that's when our own strength starts to grow once again. That's when our own lack starts to diminish and natural satiation starts to occur. God, what a test, and what a bridge in a way. Isn't this the most perfect, in a way, the most perfect design? That we can only save ourselves by saving another. We can only satiate ourselves by feeding another. When you would have, imagine you would be in a desert and you would have the last remaining amount of water in a flask, and you would see somebody else dying out of thirst, and you know you are in a desert. What would you do? How much of your instincts right now with your instincts right now, would you be able to give that water to the other one instead of keeping it for yourself? This is the test. This is the test. If you would be in a situation of war, of hunger, and you would have a last piece of bread and you would see somebody starving, and you know you wouldn't have anything else for yourself, would you give that bread to another? Even at the cost of your own survival, even at the cost of your own hunger. Would you give it to the other? God, it's so clear. It's so clear right now. And there is another thing that just came to my mind, that I'll just say because I think it has a connection with all of this. I've learned that my mind sends the right things, even though here my mind, I mean, some higher intelligence sends to my mind the right ideas, even if for my mind might not make sense why this idea connected with all of this that I've just said. But I remember at some point I saw, oh my God, I saw this image of a rendition of the devil tarot card. Usually the devil tarot card is rendered with that goat-like type of monster which holds the feminine and the masculine by some chains. Some colors. It holds them through some chains or some colors around their necks. That's the usual representation of the devil. Oh my God! God! Wait, I had another revelation. I have another realization, but I'll say it after that. After this. So, usually the devil tarot card is represented with that goat type of Baphomet figure holding in chains these two small masculine and feminine figures. But I've seen a representation, a different representation from a different type of more unconventional tarot. I'll have to find that one, which was representing, oh, I know where to find it, okay, which was representing the Devil's Tarot card in a way which I haven't seen before, and it's really unusual. It's a really unusual way to represent the Devil's Tarot card, and I couldn't understand it up until this point. So this unusual representation was representing something which is on the card, a picture of what is known as the monkey box. The monkey box, or the monkey trap, something like this. The monkey trap goes like this. So in these wild, I don't know, Amazon forest or whatever, wherever there are monkeys, there was this simple trap used to catch monkeys. So you'd put a banana, let's say, in a box, or in a jar or something, in a recipient where a monkey would only have this small, let's say, hole to put its hand in the box and grab the banana. And the thing is, like, the monkey apparently usually is so, let's say, keen to preserve the banana and to have the banana, that if it wants to take its hand out, but it doesn't want to let go of the banana, but the banana or the food placed there does not pass through this opening in the box or whatever they've used as the trap. And so the monkey cannot take its hand out of that box, and so it remained trapped. But the only, like, it's such a simple thing, because if the monkey would let go of the banana, it could just run away. So this is the representation which this other author, Robin Wood, if I remember correctly the name of this illustrator that did this other type of representation of the devil tarot card, represented a couple, a male and a female, trapped in a box, both of them hanging on from this immense treasure, and both of them trying to take the treasure. The male was trying to take it into, take it with him, and the female trying to take it with her. Both of them were trying to take the treasure, but they were trapped in the box because none of them could let go of that treasure. None of them could let go of the treasure, and thus they were dying together. They were dying together. This is our condition here in the so-called matrix. We are dying together because none of us is capable of allowing another to win. None of us has been capable of feeding another instead of feeding ourselves. This is what has kept us in this cycle of perpetual death. It is our inability to help another one live. At the cost of our own survival, I mean. And the other realization that just randomly came to me is just like, oh, what a thing that this thing came up with that devil tarot card and the monkey box, the monkey trap, today, on the 8th of September 2024, when it is said that exactly today, on the 8th, Saturn makes, I think it's an opposition or something. It's in exactly the opposite side to the sun today, Saturn. So this was a really prominent day on the entire year for Saturn. And Saturn is associated with the devil. So this is the theme. We are in this monkey box together. We are in this monkey trap together. And it's no wonder, by the way. It's no wonder that this, like, I'm completely, by the way, mostly unaware of what happens in the world and the news and everything. But I have just came to my awareness of this thing with monkeypox. And isn't it ironical? Monkeypox. It's like, come on. The symbols are there. It's like the symbols are always there, telling us what reality is and what's happening to all of us. We are in the freaking monkey box together, unable to escape this realm because we were unable to basically help another one escape, allow another one to be free at the cost of our own, let's say, imprisonment. Help another live at the cost of our own, let's say, death. Feed another one at the cost of our own hunger. Give water to another one at the cost of our own thirst. It's the only way out. You can only save yourself by saving another. You first have to save another one. And this test is gonna be specific to you. You're gonna be tested in your specific way. Because many of us, we can let go of many things. It's easy for me, for example, to give food or water to another person, but maybe it's difficult for me to give something else to another person. And my test is gonna be something specific to me, something that's gonna test me. It's clear now. It's clear what has been keeping us, all of us, stuck here. And it's clear what we have to do, but it's clear the what, the how. I have no idea. Let's see.